Hi and welcome to Fly Fishing on the Stream. Today we're going to be tying this bead-headed pheasant tail nymph. This is one of the most versatile fly fishing patterns out there. It is a very effective subsurface nymph that imitates almost every mayfly that you can find. With its orange hotspot and heavy tungsten bead, it gets down low and it attracts the fish. Size 14 jig hook, sparbless, and size 3.5mm tungsten beads, as well as a copper wire. And then for the main thread I'm using dark brown, and for the hotspot I'm using flow orange. First I put on slotted tungsten bead. This is more of a, not as bright as gold, works well. You can pick whatever color you feel like, but this has been really effective for me. And I like to use the vise to hold the hook while I put the bead on. It makes it easier to get the bead on. Put down a layer of thread, and after I put this thread down, I'll be tying in a copper wire, so you tie this thread back to about the hook bend and stop there. We'll tie in some copper wire. We'll be using this to secure the pheasant tail that we'll be tying in later. So I'll just take a little bit of this and trim it off, and we'll go ahead and tie that in like so. I'm wrapping up to the front just to cover that wire, get it nice and secure, and then again I'm going to wrap it back to about the bend of the hook. Alright, next I'm going to be tying in the tail. And then when you tie these in, you want to do it about as long as the body, maybe a little bit less, but you don't need to get it right at the front, right when you put it in. You can just do a couple of loose wraps just to kind of secure it, and then you can adjust. And then after you've got it where you want it, put in a couple of tight wraps to secure that pheasant tail, and then you can just break that off. I'm going to wrap up to the bead head. With this slotted bead, I do want this to sit up, which it will do once I get it a little bit more thread in place, and I'll finish doing that in a minute. After we get this tail tied in, we're going to tie in the body, and again I'm going to use the pheasant tail for this as well. I'm going to break off 3 for this. I mean, you can do more or less what you like. And I'm going to tie in the tips first just to kind of secure things. And once those are in, I'm going to wrap the pheasant tail around my thread. Just like we got it caught in the tail, there we go. And this will help it to tie in more securely. Alright, so I got that wrapped around a few times. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this in to give it that nice looking body. And I'll wrap that up to about where the hook bead, the bead is on the hook. I'll go ahead and secure that with the wrap behind, and then one in the front. Strong as they are, because I'm at the back, I'm going to actually trim that one. There we go. wraps in there secure. Alright, next what I want to do is I want to counter wrap my copper thread the opposite direction that I just wrapped in my pheasant tail. And this secures the pheasant tail so that if a part of it were to come loose, the whole fly wouldn't just fall apart. And once I get that up, again I'm going to capture that wire with a couple wraps, and then I can just helicopter it off by twisting it around, and that'll break the wire right there. And a couple more wraps to secure everything in. Alright, next we are going to whip finish this off and get ready to tie in the hotspot. 3 or 4, 5 winds on the whip finish is sufficient. So for the hotspot, I'm going to be using this Flu Orange, and the first thing I'm going to do is just put it in right behind the bead. Just a couple wraps to capture the thread so I can trim it off here. I am going to use ice stub. This is a pheasant color, it's kind of a brown. I also like to use a peacock, which is more of a green. The peacock does really well at imitating caddises. Notice that when the caddises are out and in the water moving, the fish really like to take that one. Both of these though will work. And you can put on there, you don't have to put on too much, just what feels good to you. I'll go ahead and slide that up so we can get it right on there. And we'll wrap this right up behind the bead there. Give it a little bit of dub. And then I'm going to whip finish this, and this will give us our hot spot, our nice orange hot spot right on the front. Fish seem to be attracted to this, usually. Not always, but usually. If you don't find it's not working, try one without. And now that we have that on there, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the orange thread. I'm going to glue this. There's several ways you can do this. You can just use glue. I'm going to use a resin here. Just put a little bit here on the edge. Get it on the thread there. Okay. I have a UV light here I can go ahead and zap it with. Do this for about 20 seconds, 20-30 seconds should cure it nicely. And this will keep the threads from coming loose, to keep that knot from coming loose. And there you have it. A bead-headed pheasant tail. Great for Euro nymphing and just nymphing in general. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more content. I'll be posting more videos about fly tying soon. Thank you.